way to give something lost a kind of tangible form?
Yeah, I mean, such a great question and so loaded. How do I answer that? Firstly, I was obsessed with Benin history because my family are from Benin, so I have a direct connection to that. And my father would tell me stories about the Benin Kingdom when I was a kid growing up in Nigeria, and it felt like this amazing, really untapped legacy to properly excavate and explore. And when I had the idea for Butterfly Fish, dealing with Joy, the protagonist, who goes through this terrible loss, has this inheritance of money, her grandfather's diary, and this ancient Benin brass artifact, I thought this is a great tool, this is a great vehicle to connect family histories, that brokenness that you speak about. It's a way of her coming to find out how this artifact, in a sense, came to be inherited by her family, but also how it was forged. I thought would be fascinating, to set it in the kingdom and kind of reimagine what that experience would be like. And that was wonderful for me because there's a sort of real power in being able to claim that historical legacy. And also, I've said this before, but I've been very frustrated that a lot of Black history that's taught is mostly about slavery. Like, I know slavery is obviously hugely important, but there's so much amazing untapped history that people don't know about. And with the Benin Kingdom, there's been lots of non-fiction written about it, but not fiction. And I just felt really ready to kind of jump in and in a way create this ambitious cartography. While I was doing it, afterwards I thought, I've really lost my mind. This is like too hard for a first novel. But I was so passionate, similar to Tessa, just in interrogating that history and finding a way, to really, I think, celebrate it in all its sort of richness and complexity and dexterity.
How they can both talk about the past and talk about ancestry and carry different textures of stories. What was it like to work with both at once?
Yeah. I love that question because it also does relate to Irenosen's work. You have to read her work. She's amazing. She's one of my favorite writers. Ditto. And what we both do, because we have these gaps, language is the way to make the gaps truer than what we don't know, what we can't know. And so it's about a kind of alchemy of form and alchemy of being that happens in prose that allows the reader, I think, a way to jump out of the kind of body stuff that mine is about. In other words, I have body parts as chapters. So there's eyes, nose, all the racialized body parts that eyes, nose, hair, ass, skin, bones. And what happens is that I investigate them on scientific levels, and then I realize, all of those stereotypes are meaningless for me because I also base my body on as the experiment, and those are meaningless stereotypes for me. And so what's true is the storytelling around those things. And so storytelling and language become a place that's far more true for me and far more real than the biological science of race. And I think you do a similar thing. There's this kind of mixed blend of reality and body and things like, characters become licorice, and there's just this beautiful, truer than the actual physicality of things that poetry, I think, can do.